Have you ever been told that the single best thing for your heart is to just get out and walk? For millions of people, particularly those who have celebrated their 65th birthday and beyond, that well-meaning piece of advice feels less like a beacon of hope and more like a frustrating, painful reminder of what they can no longer do easily or perhaps at all. It is a phrase often dispensed with a cheerful wave by those who have never experienced the searing pain of bone-on-bone arthritis in a knee, the deep, radiating ache in a lower back that refuses to subside, or the terrifying feeling of instability that makes every single step on an uneven sidewalk feel like a high-wire act without a net. What if the very activity universally prescribed to protect you, to shield your heart from the ravages of time and inactivity, is actually putting you at greater risk? What if each determined painful step is aggravating your joint pain, increasing inflammation, and leaving you feeling more defeated, more exhausted, and more demoralized than energized? If you are one of the countless individuals who has ever found themselves wincing with every footfall, who plans their errands around the location of benches, or who has simply resigned themselves to a life of ever-shrinking horizons due to aching knees, a tired and untrustworthy back, or a general feeling of pervasive weakness, then the information you are about to receive over the next few minutes could profoundly and fundamentally change your life for the better. We are on the verge of revealing a set of powerful, expert-approved secrets that have, remarkably, been hiding in plain sight for decades. These are not complex, demanding routines that require expensive gym memberships or fancy equipment. They are 5 remarkably simple, gentle, yet astonishingly effective alternatives to walking that can revitalize your circulation, fortify your precious heart, build practical, usable strength, and infuse your days with a level of vibrant energy you may have thought was a relic of your long-lost youth. And perhaps the most liberating part of this entire revelation is that you can perform every single one of them safely, comfortably, and effectively from the secure and familiar comfort of your own home, turning your favorite armchair into a personal wellness sanctuary. This is not about pushing through pain, it is about outsmarting it, and in doing so, reclaiming the healthy, active life you deserve. If you have ever woken up in the middle of the night to the unsettling pins and needles sensation of numbness in your feet, a sign that your circulation is struggling to reach its most distant outposts, or if you have watched with a sense of helpless dismay as your legs and ankles swell progressively throughout the day, leaving deep, painful indentations from the elastic of your socks, you are far, far from alone in this struggle. If you have ever battled that deep, draining, soul-crushing fatigue that settles into your bones after just a few hours of sitting, a weariness that has nothing to do with a lack of sleep and everything to do with a sluggish cardiovascular system, then you understand the silent prison that poor circulation can create. Countless older adults feel trapped and imprisoned by their own bodies, convinced by a lifetime of conventional wisdom that vigorous, weight-bearing walking is their only path back to health, even when every single step sends shockwaves of pain through their joints. They are caught in a cruel and difficult bind, a seemingly impossible paradox. Move and suffer the immediate consequences of pain and inflammation, or sit still and face the long-term, insidious decline of their cardiovascular health, muscle mass, and overall vitality. But it is absolutely crucial to understand that this is a false choice, a dangerous misconception that has limited the lives of too many for too long. There is a better way forward, a gentler, more intelligent path to a stronger heart, clearer arteries, and a more vibrant, independent life. One of the 5 specific, carefully selected methods we are about to explore in great detail may very well be the exact answer your body has been so desperately and silently waiting for. If you dream of safeguarding your heart from disease, of maintaining a sharp, clear, and agile mind free from the fog of poor blood flow, and of preserving your precious mobility and treasured independence well into your 80s, 90s, and even beyond, then we urge you to stay right where you are. The knowledge you are about to gain is not just casually interesting or mildly helpful. It could quite literally redefine how you feel when you wake up tomorrow morning and every morning after that. One of the most profound, yet tragically overlooked, exercises for cardiovascular health and circulatory enhancement, especially for those individuals who find walking to be a challenging or painful ordeal, is the humble and deceptively simple seated foot pump. It sounds almost too basic, too effortless to be truly effective, yet this gentle, rhythmic, and easily performed motion is an absolute powerhouse for your circulation, a genuine secret weapon in the fight against a sedentary lifestyle. The movement perfectly and precisely mimics the natural mechanical pumping action of your powerful calf muscles that occurs when you walk. But it does so without placing even an ounce of stressful compressive load on your sensitive and often painful knees, hips, or lower back. More importantly, and this is the key to its incredible efficacy, it directly activates what many leading cardiologists and physiologists refer to as the body's second heart, the soleus and gastrocnemius muscles of your calves. Why is this specific physiological mechanism so critically important for your overall health? Every single time you consciously contract and then fully release your calf muscles, you are actively participating in the process of squeezing deoxygenated blood from your lower extremities back up the long column of your legs towards your heart, directly defying the constant, relentless downward pull of gravity. This vital action, known as the calf muscle pump, is essential for keeping your circulation flowing freely and efficiently, preventing the dangerous pooling or stagnation of blood in the lower legs, a condition known as venous stasis. This pooling is the primary culprit behind chronically swollen ankles, perpetually cold feet, feelings of heaviness and fatigue in the legs, and can even contribute to the formation of potentially life-threatening blood clots, a condition known as deep vein thrombosis, DVT. Without this regular, efficient calf pump action, your primary heart in your chest is forced to work significantly and unnecessarily harder to pull that blood upward, a strain that is particularly pronounced during the long, uninterrupted periods of sitting that punctuate so many of our modern lives. The true beauty of the seated foot pump lies in its sheer, unparalleled accessibility. You can do it almost anywhere, anytime, without any special preparation or equipment. You can perform it while you are engrossed in a good book, while watching your favorite television program, while chatting with a beloved friend or family member on the phone, or even discreetly while waiting in a doctor's office or during a long car ride. To perform it correctly, simply sit up tall in your chair, avoiding the tendency to slump, and place your feet flat on the floor in front of you. First, focusing on your calf muscles. Lift your heels as high as you comfortably can while keeping the balls of your feet firmly planted on the ground. Pause for a brief moment at the peak of the movement, feeling the distinct and satisfying contraction in your calves, and then slowly and with control, lower your heels back to the floor. Next, for the second part of the movement, keep your heels on the floor and lift your toes and the front of your foot up towards the ceiling, stretching the muscles in your shins. That two-part motion constitutes one complete circulation-boosting repetition. This tiny, seemingly insignificant motion is more than enough to awaken your entire lower leg vascular system and provide your entire circulatory network with a powerful and immediate jumpstart, all without taking a single painful step. When most people encounter the term push up, their minds immediately conjure images of grueling gymnasium sessions, military-style boot camps, and a level of physical exertion that seems completely out of reach or even dangerous for the average older adult. However, one of the most transformative and beneficial exercises for your heart health, upper body circulation, and functional strength requires no floor space, no specialized equipment, and certainly will not leave you dripping in sweat or gasping for breath. It will simply leave you feeling stronger, more stable, and more capable in your daily life. The wall push-up, when performed consistently and with proper form, is a legitimate game changer for older adults who want to maintain their independence. By simultaneously engaging the large muscle groups in your chest, pectorals, the front of your shoulders, anterior deltoids, and the back of your arms, triceps, as well as your core, you are stimulating a significant surge of blood flow throughout your entire upper torso. This is particularly important in maintaining the health and flexibility of the chest and shoulder girdle, areas where many older adults experience debilitating tightness, restricted circulation, and a gradual loss of mobility that can make simple tasks like reaching for an item on a high shelf feel like a monumental effort. Each slow, controlled, and mindful repetition of a wall push-up not only helps your heart pump oxygenated blood more efficiently to these crucial muscles, but also strengthens the very muscles you rely on for deep, healthy, and effective breathing, a physiological function that becomes ever more critical as we age and our lung capacity naturally begins to diminish. Unlike conventional walking, which can relentlessly pound on the delicate cartilage of the joints in the lower body, the wall push-up grants you complete control, allowing you to be the undisputed master of your own intensity. To perform one safely and effectively, begin by standing approximately 2 feet away from a sturdy, clear wall with your feet about shoulder width apart. Place your hands flat against the wall, positioning them so they are roughly at shoulder height and also shoulder width apart, with your fingers pointing towards the ceiling. Keeping your body in a straight, rigid line from your head to your heels, slowly and deliberately bend your elbows, allowing your chest and face to move closer to the wall. Only go as far as you feel comfortable and stable. Then, push back firmly and smoothly to the starting position, exhaling as you exert the effort. Even a set of just 10 of these deliberate, mindful movements can be enough to fire up your entire upper body and get your blood moving with surprising and invigorating vigor. There is a profound emotional and psychological benefit to this exercise as well. For many, wall push-ups can feel as though you are literally and figuratively lifting a heavy weight off your chest. As you perform them, your breathing naturally deepens, your posture instinctively straightens and improves, and your mood often lifts in response to the feeling of newfound strength and capability. It serves as a powerful, tangible reminder that functional strength does not always come from lifting heavy weights or covering long miles. Sometimes it is found by simply and safely leaning on a wall and proving to yourself day after day that your body is still strong, resilient, and more than capable of supporting you. If you are someone who frequently struggles with the deeply uncomfortable and often worrying symptoms of poor circulation in your legs, such as ankles that swell up like balloons by the end of the day, making your shoes feel tight and your skin tender, or feet that never seem to get warm, no matter how many pairs of thick woolen socks you layer on, then the seated leg lift could very well be the simple, accessible, and transformative solution you have been desperately seeking. This remarkably effective exercise requires nothing more than a sturdy, stable chair and 5 to 10 minutes of your time. Yet the cascading benefits it offers for your cardiovascular system, joint stability, and overall sense of well-being are absolutely immense. Seated leg lifts, also known as seated leg extensions, directly activate and strengthen the largest and most powerful muscle groups in your entire body: your quadriceps, the large muscles on the front of your thighs, your hamstrings on the back of your thighs, and your glutes. When these massive, metabolically active muscles are put to work, even in a gentle, non-weight-bearing manner, they create a significant and immediate demand for a rush of freshly oxygenated blood. This increased blood flow to the thighs, in turn, helps to powerfully drive the stagnant, pooled blood that has settled in your lower legs and feet back up towards your heart, effectively easing the relentless uphill battle your circulatory system wages against the force of gravity every single day. The process is elegantly simple. To begin, sit tall and proud at the very edge of your chair, a position that naturally encourages good posture and engages your core muscles for stability. Keep your back straight, your shoulders relaxed, and your feet placed flat on the floor. From this stable base, slowly and with complete control, extend one leg straight out in front of you until it is as straight as you can comfortably get it. As you reach full extension, actively squeeze your thigh muscle, the quadriceps for a moment, holding the position to maximize the muscle engagement. Then, just as slowly and with equal control, gently lower the leg back down to the starting position. Repeat the movement with the other leg. As you continue this practice consistently over the course of weeks and months, you will likely begin to notice a host of positive changes. You may find that your resting heart rate begins to drop, a clear sign of improved cardiovascular efficiency. Your overall stamina may improve, making daily chores and activities feel less taxing. Most noticeably, your feet will start to feel consistently warmer as robust circulation is restored, and your knees will feel sturdier, more stable, and better supported by the newly strengthened muscles surrounding them. And of course, your heart will not have to strain as hard to do its job during everyday activities. There is a hidden mental and emotional payoff as well. With each single controlled lift, you are sending a powerful, affirming message to your brain. I am still in control of my body. I am strong. I am capable. This reclaimed sense of agency and physical self-mastery is a potent and effective antidote to the anxiety, fear, and feelings of helplessness that can so easily creep in when one's mobility becomes limited or compromised. Progress in life is not always about climbing mountains or running marathons. Sometimes, the greatest progress is found in the simple, defiant act of raising a single foot from a seated position and reclaiming your strength and vitality on your own terms. The ongoing quest for a healthier, more resilient heart is not solely about working the large, obvious muscle groups of your legs and chest. In fact, one of the most potent, scientifically validated, and surprisingly simple tools for protecting your heart, managing your blood pressure, and fortifying the health of your entire vascular system is located right there in the palm of your hand, your grip. The simple, intentional, and sustained act of squeezing can quietly and profoundly train your heart, contribute to lowering your blood pressure, and improve the elasticity of your blood vessels, all without you ever having to leave the comfort and safety of your favorite armchair. When you firmly squeeze an object, such as a soft stress ball, a rolled-up towel, or a specialized hand grip trainer, and then release it, you are stimulating a complex network of thousands of tiny arteries, veins, and capillaries in your hands and forearms. This seemingly localized action triggers a much wider, systemic vascular response throughout your entire body. This phenomenon, primarily related to the release of a molecule called nitric oxide, has been shown in numerous clinical studies to help significantly lower systolic blood pressure over time when practiced consistently. This is not some piece of unsubstantiated folk wisdom. Many progressive cardiologists and primary care physicians now actively recommend isometric hand grip exercises as a safe and effective complementary therapy for managing hypertension, particularly for individuals for whom more intense traditional aerobic exercise is not a viable or safe option due to joint pain, balance issues, or other health conditions. Furthermore, a strong and healthy grip is one of the most reliable and well-documented clinical predictors of longevity, overall health status, and the ability to maintain independence in later life. A person's grip strength is a direct reflection of their overall neuromuscular health and vitality. As grip strength begins to fade, so too does balance, confidence, and the practical ability to perform simple but essential daily tasks like opening a stubborn jar, turning a key in a lock, or safely carrying a bag of groceries. By actively and consistently training your grip, even with something as simple and accessible as a tennis ball or a soft foam ball, you are sending a clear and powerful signal to your entire nervous system. I am still strong. I am still capable. I am not frail. Each deliberate squeeze is a small, tangible, and measurable victory that you can literally hold on to. It is a quiet, meditative act of self-care and empowerment that not only strengthens your body from your hands to your heart, but also calms your mind and reinforces a positive self-image of strength and resilience. You absolutely do not need to run marathons, join an expensive health club, or spend countless hours pounding away on a treadmill to keep your heart youthful, your arteries clear, and your blood flowing freely and vigorously to every part of your body. Sometimes the most profound and lasting changes to our health and well-being come from the simplest, gentlest, and most unassuming of movements. The seated straight leg hold, while appearing modest and almost effortless to an outside observer, is one of the most underrated and highly effective exercises for any person, particularly those over the age of 70, who desires better circulation, a stronger and more stable lower body, and a heart that is shielded from the significant dangers posed by a predominantly sedentary lifestyle. When we sit for extended and uninterrupted periods, as so many of us do, gravity inevitably causes blood to pool and become stagnant in our lower legs and feet, a condition known as venous insufficiency. This forces the heart to pump much harder and less efficiently to maintain adequate circulation throughout the body. Over time, this chronic low-level strain can significantly increase the risk of developing varicose veins, persistent edema, swelling, dangerous blood clots, and can contribute to the development or worsening of high blood pressure. The straight leg hold acts as a powerful yet gentle internal pump for your entire lower body, dramatically reducing venous pressure in the legs and substantially improving the delivery of vital oxygen and nutrients to all your tissues. The execution is straightforward. Sit upright and tall in a sturdy chair, actively engage your core muscles to support your lower back, and then smoothly lift one leg until it is straight out in front of you, ideally parallel to the floor. Hold it there for a count of 10, 20, or even 30 seconds, feeling the quadriceps muscle on the top of your thigh contract and even begin to burn slightly. Then, slowly and with full control, lower the leg and switch to the other side. No special equipment is needed, just your own muscles, waking up from their slumber and being put to good use. With consistent daily practice, you will almost certainly find that everyday movements like walking to the mailbox or retrieving the newspaper feel noticeably easier. You may discover that climbing a flight of stairs becomes less of a breathless, tiring ordeal. Most importantly, your confidence in your own body's strength and stability will grow with each passing week. A gentleman named Frank, 78 years of age, began incorporating these simple leg holds into his daily routine after a mild stroke left him feeling profoundly weak, vulnerable, and, in his own words, useless. At first, he was deeply skeptical that such a simple movement could make any real difference. But after several weeks of dedicated practice, he was astonished to find himself climbing the stairs in his home with far less fatigue and a much greater sense of security. "I'm doing something again," he said, his voice filled with a renewed sense of purpose and pride. The true gift of an exercise like this is not just the physical benefit, it is the profound restoration of dignity, the quiet reclaiming of self-sufficiency, and the precious freedom to move through your own life on your own terms, without constant fear or dependence. Many people, as they navigate their later years, begin to feel as though the world is rushing past them at an ever-increasing speed, a dizzying blur of noise, technology, and frantic activity that can leave them feeling smaller, slower, and more invisible with each passing day. Yet, it is a profound truth that inside every aging body, there still lives an unextinguishable spark of vitality, a deep and often untapped well of resilience, and a lifetime of accumulated wisdom that is just waiting to be acknowledged and put to use once again. These 5 simple, accessible practices, the foot pump, the wall push, the leg lift, the hand squeeze, and the leg hold, are far more than just exercises for your physical body. They are powerful, affirmative messages that you are sending directly to yourself. With every gentle squeeze of a ball, with every controlled lift of a leg, and with every firm push against a wall, you are making a clear and unambiguous declaration. I am still here. My health still matters. I still possess the power and the will to care for this heart and this body that have carried me through a long and rich life. It represents a quiet, personal rebellion against the pervasive and insidious notion of giving up, a conscious and deliberate choice to stand by yourself, to advocate for your own well-being, even in the smallest and most seemingly insignificant of ways. Life at this age is not always a simple or easy journey. Perhaps you have had to say goodbye to people you have loved dearly. Perhaps your body has changed in ways you never anticipated or desired. Perhaps some days you are just plain tired of it all. That is all a natural and valid part of the human experience. But it is essential to remember in those moments of doubt or weariness that there are still positive, healing actions available to you, right here and right now, in this very moment. You can still choose to get your blood flowing more freely. You can still take action to calm and strengthen your heart. You can still consciously bring a moment of ease, strength, and empowerment into your day. You are never too old to do something good for your heart, and you are never too frail or too weak to try something gentle, restorative, and healing. Even if you can no longer walk the way you used to, or run the way you dream of, there is still a path forward. There is always hope. We invite you to make a move today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today. Pick just one of these 5 simple exercises and give it a try. Just one. Do it for your heart, yes. But more importantly, do it for yourself. Let that one simple, mindful movement spark the powerful, life-affirming thought, I am alive. My body can still do this. Healing and progress are not always found in a giant, dramatic leap. Sometimes the most profound healing happens in a quiet moment in a kitchen chair, when you feel the warmth finally returning to your feet and you realize with a quiet, swelling sense of pride, I'm still here. And that, in the end, is everything.